What's going on, guys? This is Mikeinoid, and today I am going to be talking about the games I completed in 2020. So I think all of us can agree that this year has been pretty shitty, but I think most of us were able to get more time to do stuff, and we had to find ways to kill the time, such as watch Netflix, do puzzles, do all sorts of arts and crafts, and even play some video games. Obviously, I was in the video game camp, and this year I was able to complete 30 games from start to finish. Now, I don't know if that's a big number or not, but I mean, do keep in mind, I was a working student who had a part-time job, and I had to edit these videos, so I was still a little bit limited on time, and I just wanted to go over these games. You know, what did I enjoy from these games, what didn't I enjoy, and ultimately, do I recommend playing them? So this list isn't in any particular order, at least at first, because I got the idea for this video around like maybe June or something, which is when I started this list I'm looking at right now, and then I was able to keep up with it as I go along with completing games. So the first game we're going to talk about is Pokémon Diamond. So when I was looking back at this list, I was thinking to myself, why did I even play this game? And I also have Yoshi's Island in here. But yeah, I was like, why did I play Diamond when I have something like Platinum or Heart Gold and Soul Silver? But the reason I played this is because Pokemon Home was coming out earlier in the year, and I wanted to bring over Pokemon from the Game Boy Advance game, so like Fire Red. And in order to transfer those Pokemon over, you need to bring them over to the DS, and then the 3DS, and then the Switch. So in order to bring it over to DS, you have to have completed enough of the story, or the story completely in Generation 4, in order to bring over Pokemon from the Game Boy Advance games. And the closest I was to completing a Generation 4 game was Pokemon Diamond. So I went ahead and just like rushed through the game, and I managed to bring over some Pokemon from the Game Boy Advance. But yeah, I played Pokemon Diamond before. This was my first time playing it. I think it's an amazing game. I do recommend playing Platinum over Diamond and Pearl, and I'm waiting just like everyone else for a Diamond and Pearl remake. I feel like that's coming soon. I'm hoping 2021 that's going to be our year. I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big Pokemon fan, so I'm going to say this is a great game. So the next game I completed was Persona 5 Royal. This is the Steelbook edition, which comes in this like sleeve right here, and you have the game in here, and then you get a code for the dynamic theme. It's too bad that we can't use it on a PlayStation 5. I believe I got this game when it came out, which was earlier this year. I believe in April or March. It was one of those 2 months. And I played through the whole game during the extended spring break, and I fell in love with the game all over again because I played Persona 5, the vanilla version. This is the one that you need to play because it's really good, and all the added story content in there, the new characters, beautiful. I will say that this game is not for everyone. It's basically for fans of the JRPGs. If you're interested in getting into the genre, I do recommend starting off with Persona 5 Royal. It's a really great game. And the next game I completed is Persona 4 Golden twice. Yes, I beat this game twice. It was that good. Not necessarily on 2 different cartridges. It was just the same save file pretty much. Some of you may know I did get my Vita this year because I uploaded the unboxing in like May or something, and I got the Vita specifically to play this game. This was before it was announced it was coming to Steam, and I played the game for the first time. I loved it. I started a new game plus, and I played through that as well. It was probably a little less than 200 hours total, so it was quite a long game. I mean, especially if you're playing twice. The reason I have 2 copies is that one I got loose from GameStop. It was around $30, and then I got this one with my PlayStation TV, so it was like a bundled deal on eBay. But yeah, just like Persona 5 Royal, this is a really great game as well. You might be turned off by the graphics just because they are PlayStation 2 graphics, so the game doesn't look that good, but everything else is done really well. The gameplay, characters, story, music, all of that is beautiful. beautiful. And it's a lot better time to get into Persona 4 Golden since now it's on Steam and you don't have to buy a Vita, because I know that system didn't sell that well. But I liked playing it on the Vita because you can take that thing wherever you go. And I definitely took advantage of the Vita. I took the Vita pretty much when I went out, and then when I come home I play Persona 4 Golden using the PlayStation TV. So yeah, really fun game as well. Just be careful, you might get sucked into it. The next game I completed was Kirby Triple Deluxe. So I actually played this a couple years ago, but I never finished it. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what, let me go back and play it. And I was actually pretty close to beating it, so I went ahead and finished it off. It's a pretty easy game. This was the first Kirby game I've ever beaten, so I don't know how difficult previous Kirby games were. But yeah, this one was really easy to beat. And I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I mean, it's a Kirby game. I love the power-ups in there. The music's good. Not a bad game. And so right after Triple Deluxe, I went ahead and completed Kirby Planet Robobot. So I got this game this year, and I started from all the way from the beginning, and then I played through this game within 2 days. Yeah, this one's also a pretty easy game. I think I enjoyed it more than Triple Deluxe just because of the robot suit. I feel like that made this game a lot more interesting. I see a lot of similarities with this game and Triple Deluxe, but like I said, the robot suit made the game a lot more interesting, and it was a lot of fun. The platforming was great, and this was my second Kirby game I've ever beat. Alright, so the next game I completed is The Last of Us. I didn't play this on the PlayStation 3. I actually played the remastered version on the PS4. So I was actually recommended this game from a friend. I think it's like her favorite game of all time. And obviously I've heard of the game. I've seen the opening sequence. And about 2 years ago, like I bought the game, I downloaded it, I started playing it, and it was just hard for me to get into. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with the story. I think the story is beautiful. And then so finally this year I was like, you know what? Let me play through this game. I paid $20 for it. It would be a waste for it to not be played. So I finally sat through it. I played through it, and I mean, I still feel the same way. I just don't think this is my type of game. I do understand why people say that this is probably one of the greatest games of all time, and I do see that, and that's cool. I just don't think it was a game for me. I mean, I was scared of the zombies, don't get me wrong. Like, they scared the shit out of me, but it's like, I don't know, man. But I did enjoy the game. I thought it was a beautiful looking game. I haven't played The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think I want to touch it, but sounds like people are mixed about it. I think I'll just stick with The Last of Us. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a good game. Alright, this next game is a classic, Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. I actually played it on my original SNES. And the reason I went back to this game is because I bought a CRT TV this year. So I wanted to get some use out of that TV. So I was like, you know what? I never beat this game on the SNES. I beat it on the 3DS before. But that's kind of cheating because you could just put save states and all that. And whenever you die, you just go back to that save state. So I feel like this was more of a challenge. And I was able to beat King K. Rool. I think I died a couple times, but I still managed to beat him. Hopefully I don't need to talk much about this game. We all know about Donkey Kong Country. The graphics still hold up. The music is amazing. This game is challenging but fun. And this was one of my favorite games growing up. So if you have Switch Online, you definitely gotta play this. I know they also added 2 and 3 just recently, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so this next game's kind of out of nowhere, and that's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I know this is like the weirdest game to complete in 2020, but the reason why I completed this game is I was just waiting for my friend to get, online and start playing, I guess Rocket League or whatever. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I was playing the story when I first got this game back in whatever year it came out. And I was like, let me see how far I am with the story. So I played it. I think I was 4 missions away from finally beating the game, and I ended up doing those missions. And I don't remember much about the story, but I mean, the game still looks pretty great, honestly. But I mean, this is my first Call of Duty that I've ever played in my life, so I think it's a good Call of Duty game overall. But I understand they come out with a Call of Duty every year, so you might just want to pick up the newest one. But I mean, it was fun. It was a good game. So this next game I completed, it was actually a Christmas gift last year, and this is Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey for the Nintendo 3DS. So it's a real shame that this company went out of business and I don't think we're going to be getting another Mario and Luigi RPG anytime soon. But this was the last Mario and Luigi game they made, and this is actually a remake of the DS version, which is weird because I think the DS version still looks great and it can still be played on a 3DS. So I don't know why they ended up making this again, but I mean, hey, it's still a cool game. So I beat the DS version a long time ago, and then I beat this, of course, this year. And yeah, I still think it's an amazing game. Anyone who's a fan of RPGs, I feel like you need to check this one out. I tried Bowser Jr.'s Journey, but I just didn't like it, to be honest. But yeah, I do recommend this game though. I wish Falful would be in Smash. I feel like he would be a great addition, but I understand there's a lot of Mario characters already. So this next one is pretty much underrated in my opinion, and that is Astral Chain for the Nintendo Switch. I've talked about this game in my Nintendo Switch collection video, and I still stand by to what I said. This is still an amazing game. Like I said, it's underrated in my opinion because I don't think a lot of people talk about it. And the ones who do talk about it will also agree that this is a great game. The story is pretty good. I feel like it could have been a little bit better, but it was good enough to keep playing it. The gameplay was great. So yeah, I'm telling you, don't sleep on this game, alright? You'll be satisfied with it, I'm telling you. We're gonna get to a game that I didn't really like that much, and I kind of wish I didn't spend too much money on it. That is Skylanders Imaginators for the Switch. Now, normally this game isn't that expensive. You can find it really cheap for the Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4, but for some reason they didn't make enough Switch copies, and now this game on the Switch goes for about $100. Is the price justified? Well, I can understand since they didn't make that many copies, and I guess someone who wants to get all the Switch games in the world, then I don't know, that price might not be a problem. But if you're trying to look for a fun game, I feel like $100 can get you a good amount of games that are a lot better than this one. And that includes the previous Skylander games, because I actually enjoyed the other Skylander games. I did not like this one. I might be going a little bit harsh on it, but I still did not enjoy this one as much as the other Skylander games. I mean, I will give it credit though. They finally gave actual voice lines to some of the iconic Skylanders like Spyro, Stealth Elf, Gilgrunt, which is great, but it wasn't enough to save this game. I mean, like I mentioned when I was unboxing this starter pack, I didn't like how it was just one row of Skylanders that you had to go through to get to one that you wanted. And something I mentioned before is that most of the old Skylanders, they're not that great in this game. You basically have to use the new ones if you want to actually do some real damage. So yeah, I mean, I may be a little bit harsh on this game, but man, I did spend a lot of money on it just to get it on the Switch, and I guess it's cool that you can take it with you, but it wasn't a really exciting game in my opinion. Another game I completed this year is a game I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have also completed, and that is Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I have this downloaded on my Switch. I played it when it came out, just like I'm guessing most of you guys did. I paid off my debt to Tom Nook. I had KK Slider come to my town and sing. Credits popped up, and I think that's where the game ends officially. Obviously, that game is meant to be played anytime. You don't have to stop at that credit scene. Right now, they're adding all sorts of updates. I know they've been keeping up with the holiday updates. I think there's something going on with Snowman right now. But I'm not surprised that that game was up for Game of the Year. I mean, it came out at such a perfect time. Like, if you think about it, it was delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2019, but it was delayed and it came out this year. And when did it came out? During this whole pandemic, when everybody's at home, so there was time to keep up with your island, there's time to get some fruit, catch some tarantulas, and pay off that debt. So I have fun with the game, even though I don't play actively as I did before. I'm glad it was my first Animal Crossing game. Next game I completed was Persona 4 Dancing All Night for the PlayStation Vita. This game might be a little hard for someone to play when you haven't played Persona 4 or Persona 4 Golden, because this is a rhythm game that features the characters and the music, and I don't think you're gonna care if you haven't played Persona 4. But like I mentioned, this is a rhythm game featuring Persona 4 music, and there's a story mode, which is what I completed, and I actually enjoyed it. It takes place after the events of Persona 4, featuring all the characters and even some new ones as well. and it was a lot of fun. I really did like this, especially for a rhythm game. So yeah, really good game. I recommend checking out Persona 4 first before thinking about checking this one out. You can also get it on PlayStation 4 as well. So we're going to talk about another Toys to Life game that I completed this year, and it's Starlink Battle for Atlas. Now this one I actually enjoyed because I was surprised that it was even good at all. The Nintendo Switch version features Fox, and that's who I was playing mostly during the whole story. And I don't know, I like the fact that you can just travel like space and go to different planets and just start shooting enemies. And it was like there's a lot to explore. I mean, you had literal planets that you can visit and build bases on. Like, I love that concept. The story's okay. I mean, you basically just have to save the galaxy from some evil guy. I forgot his name. But overall, I really did like the game. I think there was times, though, that you had to grind just a little bit to be suited for those final battles. So just be aware of that. I mean, it took me about like 10 hours to complete. But yeah, I really recommend this game, especially for the Nintendo Switch. Alright, next game I completed was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the 3DS. So I got this on sale at Walmart, brand new, for like 11 bucks. And it's a really great game. It's a really good puzzle game. I would have got the Switch, but that was like $30 or something. And I just got the new 2DS XL system. And this was actually the first game I ever played on that system. And I just love the fact that you can use the touchscreen to like move the camera around and get a better angle on certain parts of the level. It's a very quick game though. I did not spend too much time finishing this game. I still have stuff to find in the game. I think I even left some levels from the post game uncompleted, just so I have something to come back to if I ever decide to come back to the game. But in terms of the main story, I did complete that. So yeah, I really do recommend this game. This game was also on the Wii U as well, but I guess the most common versions right now would be for the 3DS and the Switch. Another 3DS title I completed this year was Yoshi's New Island. So I got this from eBay, and it was weird because as soon as I got it, I ended up playing it. I normally don't do that, but for some reason I really wanted to play this game, and I ended up beating it and taking out young Bowser. So this is also a pretty quick game. I think I probably spent like a little less than 6 hours maybe on this game. I mean, overall it's easy, but there were some levels that I got kind of frustrated with. It has nothing to do with the game design. It just caught me by surprise. I was like, wow, why is this so hard? But I mean, this is my first Yoshi game I ever completed, so I can't really compare it to other titles. I thought it was pretty good. Next game I completed was Bayonetta 2. I actually bought this game when it came out in 2018 I believe it was February when this game came out. And I just started playing and completed it this year. I beat Bayonetta 1, I believe 2019 of December. But I mean, I always knew I wanted to come to this game because I've heard how great it was, and it really is. It's an amazing game. Bayonetta is such a fun character, and her moves and her attacks are all elegant, and fighting with that music in the background is just exquisite. So yeah, I really wanted to catch up with the Bayonetta series, so when Bayonetta 3 finally comes out, I'll be ready for it. So yeah, I mean, I recommend Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. So this is also a classic game that I'm sure everybody has heard of. Super Mario Bros. 3. So I completed it on the Switch Online membership. So my girlfriend never played the game before in her life, so I made her play with me co-op. We ended up taking a shortcut, so we got all the flutes and we just flew over to World 8. I totally forgot how hard those levels in World 8 really are. I mean, the boss fight was fairly easy, but the levels leading up to that were really difficult. But hopefully this is a game I don't need to spend much time talking about. I think we all know about Super Mario Bros. 3 by now. If you haven't played it, highly recommend you check it out on the Switch Online membership, especially since it's Super Mario's 35th anniversary. Next game I played with my girlfriend was Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition. So we've been wanting to play this ever since it came out, but I knew they were gonna come out with it physically before it was just digitally. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna wait until it comes out physical. And then it finally came out this year. I believe it was in September maybe. And then we finally played the game, and it's really fun. Yeah, so this is basically a Minecraft MMO. And the story is pretty simple as well. I mean, you just gotta stop the illager who was bullied to be evil. And yeah, it's kind of a short game, but I mean, the levels are actually pretty long as well. But overall, I really did enjoy this game, and I'm actually interested in the DLC they've been putting out recently. Alright, so this next game I played on this collection that I'm sure most of you guys have heard about, and that was Super Mario 64, and I completed it on this Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So I've mentioned before that I've never played Super Mario 64. I didn't even play the one that came out on the DS. So I was really excited for this collection to come out on the Switch. And once September 18th hit, I started playing Super Mario 64. And I can definitely see why people think that this is one of the greatest games of all time. I do think that the controls are a little outdated though. A remake would have been a lot better, but I'm so glad I was able to experience it somewhat in its original state. Completing this game took probably less than 10 hours. I mean, the stars weren't necessarily hard to get, especially if you're just trying to beat Bowser. So I still have a good amount of stars I need to get, but I wanted to leave those so I would be able to come back to this game and be able to enjoy it again. So right now I'm trying my best to push through Super Mario Sunshine. I don't know why. I don't think it's bad. I just, for some reason, it doesn't appeal to me as much as 64 did, but I'm still giving it a chance though. But yeah, if you haven't tried Super Mario 64, a good place to play the game is on the Switch. And now for a not much fun Mario game, and that is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. So the reason why I say it's not that much fun, it's kind of boring in my opinion. I guess for me, I've played it already on the Wii U and I've beaten it on the Wii U. I mean, the reason I got it is because it finally went on sale, and I mean, I'm a fan of Mario, so I just wanted to get it, but it's the same game, man. And the levels just feel so generic. Like, I'm telling you, if you want a real Mario challenge, then just get Super Mario Maker 2, where you can play all sorts of Mario levels in the new Super Mario Bros. Style. But yeah, I mean, I took some shortcuts in this game to just complete it. I just wanted to at least beat it, so I wouldn't have said, dang, I really wasted my money. But I mean, if you haven't played it before and you have someone to play it with, then I say go for it. It's not a bad game. Like I said, it's just a little bit boring for me who's played other Mario games, especially the one on the Wii U, because it's the same game. So another Nintendo Switch game I completed was Streets of Rage 4. So this is actually the first Streets of Rage game I've completed. I've played a little bit of Streets of Rage 2, and when I played that game for the first time, I was actually impressed because, you know, normally I don't even play beat 'em up games, but for some reason that one stuck with me. So when I found out that 4 came out, I was like, you know what, let me try it out. This one's actually pretty cool because we got a keychain, we got art book in there, reversible cover art. So this one came pretty stacked, especially for a retail one, because I know Streets of Rage 4 was originally a limited run game, but here it was just chilling in Walmart. So I talked about this game before. It looks beautiful. The gameplay stays true to the franchise. The music is pretty good as well. The game was pretty quick. I think it was just hard since, like I said, this is basically the first one I've completed, so I'm not used to beat 'em up games, so it was a little bit hard for me, but I think I still did pretty good. I got to the end where you fight Mr. and Mrs. Y, so I at least recommend checking it out. You can actually check it out on Xbox Game Pass since they have it up there. But yeah, this was a really good beat 'em up game. So another Switch game I completed was Untitled Goose game. So this one's another quick game as well. It's a pretty good indie game. It recently came physically this year, and I went ahead and picked it up, and I ended up liking the game. If you don't know anything about this game, you're playing as a goose, doing all sorts of shenanigans, messing with people, moving stuff. And there is a part in the game where once you've complete all the tasks, then it does tell you that you've completed the game basically. And it does give you some post-game tasks, so you don't have to just stop at the end of the game. You can keep going. And I've left those uncompleted because I would like to come back to this game. But alongside with releasing this physically, they actually made an update, so now you can play co-op, which was actually a lot of fun. And I've seen before this game does go on sale quite frequently, so just remember to keep checking the eShop for a great deal on this game. And another Switch game I've completed was Catherine Full Body. So this game also came out this year for the Nintendo Switch. This game was originally on the PlayStation 3, but this was a really fun puzzle game by the same people who made Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei series. Not only was it a great puzzle game, but it actually had a pretty great story, and the story will vary depending on players because you can choose which path basically you want to go down, and I feel like that made the game a lot more personal. But yeah, the characters and the music of course were great in this game, and if you just want to play a chill game with some cool puzzles and an interesting story, this is the way to go right here. So this next game I completed, I've talked so much about already. That's Bakugan Champions of Vestroia. So I went ahead and got the deluxe edition for $60, which came with the Dragonoid Bakugan. And I'm a huge fan of Bakugan. I know a lot of people who follow this channel are a huge fan of Bakugan, but this game was not good. I will be honest with you guys. At first I thought it was enjoyable, but towards the end when I was playing the game live stream and trying to complete the game, it was just dragging out. I had to fight like 10 guards basically during the final area of the game, and each one had a full team of Bakugan all leveled up to the like highest level, and each battle took like 10 minutes. So I mean, at that point I was pretty much over the game. It's cool because they put Leonidas in the game, which is a Bakugan that's only been exclusive to the original Bakugan game. It was a pretty cool callback for fans of the original game. But yeah, man, I just think this was a terribly made game, and it sucks because it could have been a great game. Like, I see the potential in this game, but it just doesn't work. So basically, if you're not a fan of Bakugan, don't even bother with this game. But if you are a fan, at least recommend you wait till this game goes on sale. I've seen this game go on sale already. I've seen it go on sale for Black Friday at GameStop, and it was already like down to $30. So anything's better than paying for this full price. So another game I've completed was actually Astro's Playroom, and that was of course on the PlayStation 5 because that game showcases what the PS5 controller can do, and that game does come pre-installed with every PlayStation 5. It was a really well-made demo. I mean, there's so many references to other PlayStation titles, and the gameplay was fun. I grew to love the controller, and it was a great game to play when I was waiting for Spider-Man Miles Morales to come in. So if you end up getting a PlayStation 5, I at least recommend you try it out because it really is really well made, and the boss fight was actually a lot of fun. And of course, like I just mentioned, I did play Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5, and I did end up beating that game. I even 100%ed the game as well, since it's actually a really short game. In my opinion, I do believe that it was worth $50. I know a lot of people have said that since the game is too short, $50 may not be worth it, and I totally understand that viewpoint, but I think there's just so much quality put into this game. I feel like that makes up for the small story, and the story itself was really interesting as well. I loved Miles Morales in this game. I was worried that I wasn't gonna like him because I'm used to the Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse, but this Miles Morales was really well done, and of course playing as Spider-Man is really cool as well. And out of all the games I've completed this year, I think this one is probably my favorite one. Next game I completed was Bakugan Battle Brawlers on the Xbox 360. Now this is a well-made Bakugan game. This is what I recommend people play when checking out the Bakugan, I guess, universe. So I started this story mode when I first started the channel, but it wasn't until this year where I decided to do a live stream and play this game. And I was actually pretty close to finishing it, so I ended up beating it on that live stream. And I don't know if it's just me being nostalgic, but I still think this is a really well-made game. Now, is this a masterpiece? Absolutely not, but it's still enjoyable. It still has great music. It still has very fun gameplay to it. I just love the fact that you can throw the Bakugan and you can control it and get all sorts of power-ups on the arena. And then of course having 3 different battles made things interesting. I mean, overall, I feel like this is a really good game, and I wish that this game would be backwards compatible on the Xbox One and the Series X. I don't know, maybe one day, we'll see. Another Bakugan game I finished was Bakugan Rise of the Resistance. So this is actually a little bit interesting because it's actually a tower defense game with Bakugan. So you can put down like Bakugan on the field and that will shoot at the enemy Bakugan that are trying to destroy the reactor. And you basically want to survive the specific amount of waves that the game wants you to survive for. And it's pretty cool. It features Bakugan from seasons 2 to 4. I was very surprised with this game. I didn't think I was going to end up beating it, but I enjoyed it so much I just went ahead and played through the whole game. It's actually not that long. I feel like maybe a good 5 to 7 hours is the amount it took. If you're a Bakugan fan, this is a really good Bakugan game for the DS. And then the final Bakugan game that I completed was Bakugan Defenders of the Core. Yes, I did play through 4 Bakugan games this year. So yeah, I did play this on live stream and it took about 5 hours to beat, which is a very short game, but it's actually a lot of fun. So the cool thing about this one is you can actually play as a Bakugan, fight off like the enemy Bakugan, defend your landmark. This one is also underrated as well. I feel like this one should get a little bit of spotlight to it as well. This was my second time playing it. The first time I played it was on the Wii, so I really did enjoy this game. This was a lot of fun. And so the final game that I completed this year is Cartoon Network Battle Crashers. Yeah, so once again, this game ends another list of mine, but yeah, I still think it's a really poor made game. You have Cartoon Network characters like Mordecai and Rigby, Finn and Jake, you know, Gumball, characters that have a lot of personality to them, and then you put them in a game that is so generic and you won't even include their original voice actors. There's no voice acting in this game, all right? It's just all text dialogue if there's any. I mean, it's just a generic beat 'em up game. That's basically what it is. So yeah, I don't like this game. I mean, at least it's playable. That's really the nicest thing I can say about this. I mean, there's no bugs in it or anything. It's just really boring. I don't recommend you get this game. If there's someone out there that likes this game, I'm sorry. That's totally amazing that you like this game. I personally don't think it was a good game, but once again, that's just my opinion. And that's all 30 games I've completed in 2020 as of making this video. I just want to give an honorable mention to the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, both the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, because I did complete those, but I did not beat Sword and Shield this year, so I didn't put those on the list, but I figured I'd still mention them because I did complete those DLC stories. And the game I'm actively playing right now is Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I mean, that game is so beautiful. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII before, so this is the first time I'm experiencing Midgard and Cloud and all the characters. I've heard about the criticism of that game, but I mean, that's still a beautiful looking game. So far I've put about 6 hours into it. I believe I'm on chapter 5, so I'm not quite done with it yet. I'm probably not going to complete it this year, maybe January. And that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know which games you've completed this year in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Hey, at least I don't have to play Battle Crashers anymore. I've completed it. I'm done. I'm moving on with my life.
Dreams that can come true. No more tears shall drop from your cheeks.